Hello and welcome to another set of GCSE practice questions. In this video we're just going to be looking at some shapes of graphs and we'll see if you can recognise the functions that generate these graphs. Okay, good luck with this. Take your time with each graph, but don't take too long. Generally speaking, your first impression will probably be right. Okay, can you name the function that generates this graph? Alright then, how did you get on with that? Right, so this graph repeats periodically, so it's almost certainly, well, it is going to be a trigonometric function, which means it'll either be y equals sine x, y equals cos x, or y equals tan x. Now, even though the bottom of the graph is chopped off, it is bound between +1 and -1, which means it's not going to be y equals tan x. So this is either y equals sine x or y equals cos x. This graph goes through the origin, so when x equals 0, y equals 0, and we know that when x is 0 degrees, then sine x is also 0 degrees. We know that from our unit circle. So this is a graph of y equals sine x. Okay, how did you get on with that one? Right, can you name the function that generates this graph? Okay, take your time, but don't take too long because generally your first impressions are probably right. Okay, so how did you get on with that one? Alright, so this graph does not repeat periodically, so that eliminates all of the trigonometric functions, which means it'll either be y equals x squared or y equals 2 to the power x. Well, this graph is not symmetrical about the y-axis, and we know that the y equals x squared is a nice smooth parabolic curve that's symmetrical about the y-axis, or it's symmetrical about a line of symmetry anyway. So it's not a U-shaped curve and it's not an N-shaped curve, so this is not a quadratic graph. This is not going to be y equals x squared, which leaves us only with y equals 2 to the power x. Another clue is that when x equals 0, y equals 1, and 2 to the power 0 is 1. Okay, how did you get on with that one? Alright then, can you name the function that generates this graph? Take your time, but don't take too long. Generally, your first impression will probably be correct. Alright, how did you get on with that one? Alright, well this graph does repeat periodically, so it's going to be one of the trigonometric functions, which means it's either y equals sine x, or y equals cos x, or y equals tan x. Now the y values are bound between 1 and -1, so this is either going to be y equals sine x or y equals cos x. Now when x equals 0, y equals 1. Now we know that the cosine of 0 degrees is 1 from our unit circle, so this is y equals cosine of x. Okay, how did you get on with that one? Right, can you name the function that generates this graph? Take your time, don't take too long. Generally your first impression will probably be the correct one. Okay, so this graph does not repeat periodically, so it's not going to be one of the 3 trigonometric functions. It is symmetrical about the y-axis, and it's a nice smooth parabolic curve opened up at the top. So this is y equals x squared. Okay, how did you get on with that one? Right, can you name the function that generates this graph? Take your time, but don't take too long. Remember that your first impression is probably going to be the correct one. Alright, so this graph does repeat periodically, so it's going to be one of the three trigonometric functions. It's not bound between 1 and -1, so it can't be y equals sine x and it can't be y equals cos x. So this is y equals tan x. Okay, how did you get on with those questions? Right, if you're taking your GCSEs this year, I'd like to wish you every success with your revision and every success with your exams. Don't forget to like if you want to see more videos like this. Leave a comment if you have any suggestions about other videos, GCSE maths related, that you'd like to see me make. And I'll look forward to seeing you in another video.